Have you ever looked at someone and thought they're just naturally creative? Maybe you admire the way they paint, write, or even just come up with ideas so effortlessly. And then you start thinking, I wish I had that spark. Here's the truth that no one tells you: creativity isn't something you're born with, it's something you nurture. It's not just about painting or music, it's about how you solve problems, how you express emotion, and how you add beauty to ordinary days. So today, I want to help you reconnect with the creative energy that's already inside you. Even if you haven't felt inspired in a while, even if your ideas have been quiet lately. Together, we're going to explore 10 cozy, practical, and deeply human ways to be creative in art, in work, and in everyday life. Before we start, I want to welcome you again to my channel. I'm Alma Joy, a working professional, life coach, and content creator in San Diego, California. And whether you're tuning in on your morning walk, during your commute, or curled up at home, I'm so glad that you're here. All right, grab your tea, light a candle, and let's unlock your creativity one spark at a time. Tip 1. Make space for inspiration. When I started journaling in the morning, something magical happened. Ideas started showing up softly, slowly, like they've been waiting for permission. Not because I forced them, but because I finally made room for them. Creativity needs space. It doesn't thrive in chaos or constant noise. So, make yourself a little creative corner, like this one. It doesn't have to be fancy. A cozy chair by a window, a tidy desk, or even your kitchen table will do. Keep your tools nearby. A sketchbook, your journal, your laptop, or even a jar of colored pens. Light a candle, play gentle music, and make it feel sacred. Because when your environment feels safe and inspiring, ideas know they're welcome to visit. Think of it as setting the table for your imagination. Tip 2. Stay curious about everything. I remember once walking in the park and hearing two little kids arguing about a cloud that looked like a dragon or a castle. And I caught myself smiling, wondering, when did I stop seeing things like that? Curiosity is creativity's first language. It's the spark that asks, what if, and why not? You don't have to be an artist to be curious. Ask more questions, watch a documentary about something random, and take a new route to work. Read about a subject you've never explored. When you start collecting ideas and perspectives, your brain begins to connect the dots, and those connections are where creativity is. Stay endlessly curious, and life itself becomes your art project. Tip 3. Play without pressure. Let's go back to when we were kids. Remember coloring outside the lines? Remember making mud pies? Making forts out of blankets? None of it had a purpose. And that's what made it magic. Somewhere along the way, we start believing creativity had to be productive or good. But the truth is, play is what keeps creativity alive. So try doing something just for fun. Doodle with no plan. Dance while you cook. Sing loudly in the shower. Bake something without a recipe. When you remove the pressure to be perfect, your natural creativity comes back like an old friend. Creativity doesn't have to be graded. It just wants to be enjoyed. Tip 4. Use constraints to your advantage. Here's a secret. Creativity loves boundaries. I once challenged myself to write a poem using only 10 words, and somehow it ended up being one of the most meaningful things I've ever written. Sometimes having less time, less money, fewer tools actually forces us to be more imaginative. Try a 10-minute creative sprint. Write a poem using only one-syllable words. Take photos using your phone, not a fancy camera. When we limit our options, we stretch our imagination. It's like putting bumpers on a bowling lane. It gives your ideas direction. Tip 5. Romanticize the mundane. Creativity isn't always found in grand moments. It's hidden in everyday rituals. When I started treating my morning tea like an art form, the smell, the steam, the first sip, I began to realize this is art. Creativity is a way of seeing. You can make your bed like it's choreography. You can cook like you're composing music. You can take a walk like you're collecting colors for your soul. Romanticize the mundane, and suddenly life feels like a poem again. The creative life is less about adding more things and more about noticing the magic already there. Tip 6. Fill your creative well. A few years ago, I hit a creative wall. I was producing and I felt empty. And then I realized I hadn't been consuming anything beautiful. Julia Cameron calls this filling the well. You can't pour from an empty cup, so fill yours. Go to a museum, listen to live music, read poetry under a blanket. Sit by the ocean, let the art, sound, and stillness refill you, because creativity is cyclical. It flows out of you after you've filled yourself with wonder. Let yourself be moved and you'll move others too. Tip 7. Collaborate and share ideas. Some of my best ideas didn't come from me, they came from conversations. Creativity expands when it's shared. You brainstorm, swap ideas, or talk through dreams with someone else, sparks start to fly. Find your people, start a small creative circle, join an online challenge, or simply text a friend your latest idea. When you share your spark, it multiplies. You don't have to do this alone, and honestly, creativity is way more fun when you don't. Because sometimes, all it takes is one "that's amazing" from a friend to make you believe again. Tip 8. Embrace boredom. This one might sound strange, but your best ideas often come from when you're bored. When we're constantly scrolling or multitasking, our brains don't get space to wonder. Boredom, that quiet, slightly uncomfortable stillness, that's where imagination lives. So take walks without headphones, sit at a cafe without your phone, let your mind drift like clouds. Boredom isn't the absence of creativity, it's the birthplace of it. Give your brain permission to be still, and it'll start whispering new ideas. Tip 9. Turn struggles into stories. A while back, I went through a really difficult season. I didn't know how to process it, so I just started writing, not for anyone to see, just to make sense of it. And that simple act turned pain into something meaningful. Your hardest experiences can become your most powerful creative fuel. When you tell your story, whether through writing, painting, journaling, or even just talking about it, you transform struggle into strength. Creativity is alchemy. It takes what hurts and turns it into something healing. So next time life feels heavy, ask yourself, what can I create from this? Live like an artist, even if you never touch a paintbrush. Notice colors when you walk outside. Savor the sound of laughter. Arrange your desk like it's an exhibit of your favorite things. Write love notes. Take photos of sunlight. Express gratitude out loud. When you start seeing life like art, you naturally start living more beautifully. And here's the best part. You don't need permission to call yourself creative. You already are. All right, let's recap these 10 cozy reminders. 1. Make space for inspiration. 2. Stay curious about everything. 3. Play without pressure. 4. Use constraints to your advantage. 5. Romanticize the mundane. 6. Fill your creative well. 7. Collaborate and share ideas. 8. Embrace boredom. 9. Turn struggles into stories. And 10. Live like an artist. Creativity isn't a talent. It's a way of noticing, feeling, and expressing. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. Wherever you are today, I hope this episode helps you find your way back to wonder and to yourself. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe or follow for more cozy, inspired conversations about growth, creativity, and self-discovery. And if you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment and tell me, what's one creative thing you'll try this week? Thanks for being here, friend. Take care, and remember, you are enough.